Our verse today is 2 Samuel chapter 18, verse 31. And behold, the Cushite came, and the Cushite said, Good news to my lord the king, for the Lord has delivered you this day from the hand of all who rose up against you. Yesterday, Father Daniel gave a background to the story of Absalom and the relationship between him and his father David. Absalom planned against his father, that David had to run from his palace and from Jerusalem. In this way, Absalom declared war on his father. In other words, he had become an enemy to his father. Absalom gathered men and fought against his father. But thanks to Cushite, one of David's confidants, who helped David escape from his hideout. Otherwise, Absalom would have killed him. Read 2 Samuel chapter 17. David then raised men to defend himself and gave a command to Joab, the leader of the army, and the other leaders to deal kindly with his son Absalom. Read 2 Samuel chapter 18, verse 5. Here is Absalom, prepared to kill his father and take over the throne, yet his father wants his life spared. Is there any wonder why David is such a special person in the eyes of God? In those days, you would not spare your enemy, not to talk of the one who has publicly declared that he was after your life. David's army leaders, Joab, Abishai, and Ittai, whom David appointed leaders over 3 groups, prevented David from going into the battlefield to fight against his son. These men led David's army against the people of Israel that Absalom had recruited to fight for him, and they defeated Absalom's men. Meanwhile, Absalom was caught under the thick branches of an oak tree in the forest. Joab was told, and he did not spare his life as David had commanded. He killed Absalom. David was seated between the 2 gates of the city when one of the gatekeepers or watchmen told him that 2 people were running towards the city. There were usually city towers at the gates where the watchmen would overlook whoever was approaching the city. The first man, Ahimaaz, came and could not break the news of the death of Absalom to David. Then comes our verse, and behold, the Cushite came. When the Hebrew text uses the word hine, translated as behold, it emphasizes what comes after. The Cushite could be a descendant of the grandson of Noah, Cush, or an Ethiopian, probably a black person working under Joab. The Cushite broke the news to David, and he says, Good news to my lord the king. As far as the army and men of David were concerned, Absalom was an enemy of the king, even though he was the son. By extension, Absalom was the enemy of the loyalists of David, because he could execute all of them if he had gained power from David. Read 2 Samuel chapter 19, 5-6. Therefore it was good news that the king's enemy had been defeated and killed. Then the Cushite said, The Lord has delivered the king from the hand of those who rose against him. But for David it was a sad day that he had lost his son. The victory for the army turned into mourning. Although Absalom declared war on his father, David still regarded him as his son. David had the mind of Jesus Christ, who forgave his enemies even from the cross. If you are a father and your child attempts to take your life, how would you treat him? What if your friend says something terrible about you behind your back? What would you do? Is it easy to have the mindset of David or that of Christ? I'd like to hear your feedback and honest replies. Lord, as we begin this month, please give us the heart to forgive those who have hurt us and may have declared us their enemies. May your spirit at work in us move us to love them and wish them well, rather than expect them dead or wish them evil. Amen. God bless you. Have a lovely day and happy new month.